I let my in-laws stay with us after their house flooded. Gave them our bedroom. Cooked every meal. One morning, I woke up on the couch to my wife whispering, "I'm tired of pretending he's enough." Her mother replied, "Then stop." They didn't know I was awake. I got up, packed my bag, and as I reached the door, it started with a storm. Not even a hurricane, just one of those freak downpours that dump inches of rain in a couple hours. Erin's parents lived about 40 minutes outside town on a flat piece of land that always collected water. Their house got hit hard. By the next morning, their carpets were soaked, the walls had that wet paper smell, and mold was already creeping up. We offered them our place. It made sense at the time. We had the space. Erin didn't even ask me, just told them to pack up and come over. Said they could stay in our room since it had the bathroom attached. I agreed without much thought. I figured it would be a week, maybe 2. The first night they were here, I moved to the couch. Erin said she'd sleep in the guest room with her mom. To keep her calm, she said. I didn't argue. Her dad got the other bed. We told the kids it was like a sleepover. Every day felt like a routine I didn't sign up for. I'd wake up early, shower at the gym because I didn't want to wait around, then go to work. I'd get home, and dinner still wasn't started. Erin would be on her phone or sitting at the table with her mom. I started cooking out of habit. Dishes, clean up trash. No one ever offered to help. Her dad would sit in the recliner and flip through channels like he lived there. Her mom was worse. She'd comment on how I folded towels or organized the fridge. Like she owned the place. But I kept quiet. I thought, they're stressed. They lost their home. It's not forever. One night I heard her mom say to Erin, "He's not a man who takes charge, is he?" They were in the kitchen, talking low, didn't know I was behind the hallway corner. Erin didn't say anything right away. Just sipped her wine. Then she said, "He's comfortable." I tried to laugh it off at the time. Told myself not to take it personally. But it stayed with me. That word, comfortable, like I was a couch or a blanket. Not a partner. Then came the morning I left. It was about 6 a.m. I was on the couch, trying to get another hour of sleep before I had to be up. I heard the coffee maker click on. Then I heard Erin's voice. "I'm tired of pretending he's enough." Just like that. Her voice wasn't angry. Just tired. Like she'd been carrying that thought a long time. Then her mom, calm as hell, said, "Then stop." No hesitation. "No, are you sure? Just stop." I didn't move. I didn't breathe. I felt like something inside me cracked open. I laid there, staring at the back of the couch, trying to decide if I'd imagined it. Then Erin spoke again. "I feel like I settled. Like I'm living someone else's life." That was it. I got up. Quiet. Pulled my hoodie over my head, went to the bedroom where they were staying, my bedroom, and grabbed a backpack. No suitcase, just enough to not look suspicious. Threw in jeans, socks, shirts, deodorant. Grabbed my charger off the kitchen counter while they were still in the nook talking. They didn't even hear me. I was at the front door, just about to walk out when her dad came out of the hallway. He had a towel around his neck and was holding a bottle of shampoo. He stopped dead when he saw me. We looked at each other for maybe 2 seconds. He saw the bag. He saw my shoes. He knew. He didn't say a word. Just moved to the side. I walked past him and opened the door. The air outside felt cold on my face, but it helped. I made it halfway to the car before I heard the door open behind me. Erin stood there. Her face looked different. Like she wasn't sure what she wanted to say. She was still in that robe I gave her last Christmas. The blue one with the little embroidered flower on the sleeve. She'd cried recently, her eyes were red, lips pressed tight. She didn't ask me to stay. Didn't say sorry. Just stood there. Behind her, her mom appeared, holding a coffee mug like she wasn't the one who lit the match that burned down my life. I drove off. I didn't even know where I was going. I ended up at a motel near the highway. Slept in my clothes. Spent the whole night staring at the ceiling. They haven't called. Not Erin. Not even for the kids. And I haven't called either. I stayed in that motel for 3 nights. Didn't go to work. Didn't tell anyone where I was. I turned my phone off the first day and kept it that way. I figured if there was some emergency with the kids, Erin would find a way to reach me. But she didn't. On the 4th day, I finally turned my phone back on. 47 texts. Mostly from my sister, 2 from my boss asking if I was okay. Nothing from Erin. That's what hit me the most. Not even a message to say, "Where are you?" Or, "The kids miss you." Nothing. I called my sister. Told her I was fine, just needed time. She offered to let me stay with her and her husband, but I didn't want to bring this into her house. Not yet. Instead, I drove back into town and parked across the street from my own house. Just sat there and watched. It looked the same. Same porch lights, same lawn chairs, same flower pot with the dead fern Erin swore she'd replace. But it didn't feel like mine anymore. Then I saw something that made me grip the steering wheel. A car pulled into the driveway. Black Lexus. I didn't recognize it right away. But then the door opened and it was Mark. Mark was Erin's coworker. I'd met him twice at her office Christmas party and a charity dinner. She always talked about him like he was harmless. He's married, she used to say. And way too into his Peloton. He walked in like he'd done it before. No knock, no hesitation. I stayed there for another 10 minutes, staring at the front door, waiting for him to come out. He didn't. I drove off. That night, I drank for the first time in months. Just cheap whiskey from the gas station. Sat in the motel room, lights off, trying not to think too much. But the thought kept coming back. She was done with me before her parents even moved in. I just didn't want to see it. The next morning, I made a decision. I called my lawyer. Told him I wanted to start paperwork. Nothing dramatic, just the facts. I wanted joint custody, nothing more. He told me to sit on it for a week before filing. I didn't argue, but I already knew I wasn't waiting. Later that day, I finally answered a call from Erin. Her voice was calm, almost rehearsed. "Where are you?" I said, "Why?" "So you can schedule me in between Mark's visits?" She didn't respond right away. Then she said, "It's not what you think." I laughed. "Then what is it, Erin? What exactly am I supposed to think when the man you told me not to worry about walks into our house like he lives there?" Silence. Then, "I'm sorry you saw that." Not sorry she did it. Just sorry I saw it. That told me everything. "I want a divorce," I said. She didn't argue, didn't cry, just said, "Okay." We agreed to meet in person in a few days to talk about the kids and the logistics. No yelling, no dragging it out. It almost felt too clean. But I knew better. We met at a diner near the park. Neutral ground. I got there early and picked the booth farthest from the door. Erin showed up right on time, wearing the same gray sweater she always wore when she wanted to look put together but casual. She sat across from me, didn't order anything, just folded her hands on the table. I could see she hadn't been sleeping. I didn't care. "I told the kids you were on a work trip," she said. "I didn't want to confuse them." I nodded. "I'll explain it to them myself. Soon." She looked down at the table. "I never meant for it to get this bad." I didn't respond. What was there to say? Then she said something that stopped me cold. "He's not the reason." I looked at her. "Mark? You're gonna tell me that wasn't happening before I left?" "I'm saying he wasn't the first." The air went still. She didn't look up. Just kept talking. Low, like she was ashamed but needed to say it. "There was someone else. Last year. Just once. It was a conference. I told you it was boring, remember?" I lied. I felt guilty after, but I thought I could fix it. Then I just didn't. I stared at her. My mouth was dry. "Why are you telling me this now?" "Because if we're ending it," she said, "you deserve the truth, even if it's late." I almost laughed. "Now you care about what I deserve." She finally looked at me. "I'm not proud of what I did." That's when the waitress came by and asked if we needed more coffee. I shook my head. Erin said nothing. "I want to be civil," she said. "For the kids." I leaned back. "You'll get civil. But don't expect kind." We finished the meeting fast after that. No arguing over money. Just agreed to split custody 50-50 and that she'd stay in the house until the school year ended. I walked out before she did. When I got to the parking lot, Mark's Lexus was parked across the street again. But this time he wasn't alone. There was a woman sitting in the passenger seat. Younger, mid-20s maybe. Not his wife unless he'd traded her out recently. They were talking. She looked nervous. He touched her knee. I froze. I pulled out my phone and snapped a picture. Then another. Close enough to get a shot of his license plate. I didn't even know why yet. Just felt like I might need it. Later that week, I finally sat down with my kids. Told them Daddy and Mommy weren't going to live together anymore. My daughter cried. My son didn't say much. He just asked if we'd still do movie nights. "Every time you're with me," I said. They were the only thing keeping me from falling apart completely. Then, a few days after that, Erin showed up at the motel. No call. No warning. Just knocked on the door and stood there like she still had a right to. "I need to talk to you," she said. I let her in. She stood by the door and didn't sit. "I think you should see this," she said, and handed me her phone. It was an email. From Mark's wife. "I thought you should know your husband isn't the only one he's cheating on," it started. She'd found texts. Pictures. One of them was of our bedroom. "He brought her into our house," Erin said. "While we were together. While my parents were there." She looked up at me like she finally got it. "Now I know how it feels." I looked at her and said nothing. She left the phone on the table and walked out. I kept that email. I read it 3 times, maybe 4, not because I didn't understand it the first time, but because something shifted in me every time I looked at those screenshots. Mark wasn't just a problem, he was a walking disaster. And Erin had invited him into our lives. Into our home. Into the bed I once slept in. But now she was the one betrayed. Should have made me feel better. Didn't. It just made the whole thing uglier. We were all wrecked. The difference was, I hadn't lied, cheated, or dragged strangers through our kids' lives. I just kept showing up, cooking dinner, paying bills, being dependable. And that wasn't enough. For anyone. I called my lawyer again. Told him to move forward fast. I didn't want mediation. I wanted court. And I wanted the house sold. Erin tried to protest. Said the kids needed stability, that we should be reasonable. But she'd already spent the last year being unreasonable in secret. That was over now. I moved back in temporarily while the divorce played out. She moved to a small condo closer to her work. Said it was just until everything was final. I didn't fight her on it. Let her take what furniture she wanted. I didn't care anymore. But I did one thing before I left the house for good. I took the security camera footage from our front door cam, the one she forgot was linked to my account. I scrubbed through hours until I found it. Mark arriving during the week she told me nothing had happened yet. Mark walking in with a bottle of wine. Mark leaving just before dawn. Not once. Multiple times. I downloaded it, burned it to a flash drive, and included it with my custody filing. When Erin saw it, her face went pale. She tried to say it was a bad time, that she was confused, but none of that mattered in front of the judge. The judge saw a mother living with a man not her husband while lying to her children. I saw Erin's lawyer shift in his seat when the video played. Her chances of full custody? Gone. We got split time, but I got primary during school weeks. She got weekends and some holidays. I stayed in the district, kept the house long enough for the kids to stay stable. Erin cried in the hallway after the ruling. I walked right past her. But here's where it all really snapped. 2 weeks after the final ruling, her mom texted me. "I'm sorry for what I said. I didn't know the whole story." I didn't reply. I just blocked her. Then I sent an email to Mark's wife. Just one sentence and the video file. "Thought you'd want this. I know what it feels like." She replied 2 hours later. "Thank you. I had no idea. You helped me more than you know." Turns out she filed the same week. The last time Erin tried to talk to me alone, we were switching off the kids at a gas station parking lot. She leaned in while they buckled their seatbelts and whispered, "Do you hate me?" I looked at her for a long second and said, "No, but I don't care anymore. That's worse." I got in my car and drove off.